Hello everybody, and welcome to this first video on this channel. Today, what I'm going to be teaching you about is how to get started recording for basically under $100. And if you want to go to the extent that I have, it's under $200. As you can see here, I have, 3 monitors, but that doesn't matter. All you need is a computer and, $200 or less, and you can start recording right now. So, what do you need to start recording? The first thing you need if you want to record real instruments is one of these. This is an audio interface. What it does is it'll take either a microphone or an instrument or any kind of quarter-inch connector, and it will turn it into a USB signal which sends it to your computer for you to record. It has, for the microphone, it has gain knobs, and then you can run your headphones right out of it so you can hear what you're playing, obviously. This, generally, if you're going to run your instrument like a guitar or bass into here, you're not going to be using an amp. What you can do, though, and what a lot of people do, is, especially in bigger studios where they have, expensive amps, they'll plug in a microphone, and they'll put the microphone up against the bass, or the guitar amp. And that people say it gets a more authentic sound, because if you put the guitar into here, you'll have to use a virtual amp on your computer, which people think that sounds not as authentic. So people prefer the mic amp if you have a good amp or you want amp something. So now you have your interface. What are you going to want to do with it? Say you just want to record your guitar and bass in the computer. You can do that. All you need is just a quarter-inch cable, which I assume you have if you have a guitar or a bass. Plug it right into your interface. I mean, you don't have to buy one of these exactly. There are thousands that you can purchase. Many of them are good and under, $100. This I bought just from a local music store that's near me used. This is the Line 6 UX2, and I bought it for $69.99. Perfectly good condition, but it was just used. But this thing works perfectly. So this is, I can leave a link for the most popular ones. It depends on how many inputs you want. You can have up to 8 inputs, it's going to get more and more expensive. But if you just want something that's 1 mic, 2 mics, or 1 guitar, 2 guitars, something like this is perfect. It will be very cheap. So if you're just recording bass and guitar and using free virtual instruments on your computer, which I'll get into, this is all you need. This is all you need. And it's under $100. But say you want to record vocals, or you want to record drums, which is a whole other topic, or you want to record an amp, like I was talking about earlier, well then you need a microphone. So there are basically 2 types of microphones that you'll want to look into. There's ones that have an XLR connector, like this, or a USB connector, which will bypass this and go right into your computer. And so that's really up to personal preference. To me, I think it's better, especially for music, to use a microphone that uses an XLR, which is this 3-prong connector. Because A, I find there are better microphones available using an XLR connector. And 2, it's universally usable. You can't plug a USB microphone into a professional mixer if you're doing a concert, because there's no USB port on a mixer, except maybe going out to a computer to record. So you can either buy a USB microphone and use it with your computer only, or you can buy an XLR microphone and use it universally. So I already had a USB microphone. This is what I have. It's called the Blue Yeti. It's normally like $100. I bought it over 3 years ago, so I don't remember exactly. I got mine for I think $80 on sale on bnh.com, bh.com, in the United States. And it's a perfectly good microphone. Although I found it's a good microphone, although I found it's not great for studio level vocal recordings. I haven't tried it on guitar amp, because as you can see it's a BP microphone. But I found for general purposes it's good, but you can get, better quality for the same price. So what I ended up getting, and this I also bought at the same music store as this for only $50, if you can believe that, is this. This is an MXL 910 with a shock mount, a mount that I bought off of Amazon for 15. Amazon.com. And this is just a simple cardioid. You can tell by the heart symbol. Cardioid 3-prong connector. It's an MXL 910, as I said. And this, from what I've used so far, it sounds great on vocals, on narration. I haven't tried it miking drums or guitars or basses yet, but I'd imagine that would do well. The frequency response is great. There's not a lot that I can find online. This is one of the less popular MXL microphones, but MXL makes great microphones across the board and cheap microphones across the board. If you want a good cheap microphone, I would look at the MXL 990 or the V67G. The V67G is a little bit more expensive, but the 990 you can generally find for pretty cheap, and it's a very good microphone. I highly recommend this or other MXL microphones. And then I've also tried messing around with miking guitars and bass amps. And so what most people would have you do is get a Shure SM57, which I'd highly recommend. They call them the workhorse of the recording industry. They're the microphone that any recording engineer would reach for. Now, I've used them and I've used many other microphones, and it may be expensive to get a condenser, a cardioid condenser microphone. That's the condenser microphone. That's what we want to look for. And a dynamic microphone. So, what I've also used, and I found that they sound great on piano. If you want to mic a piano, if you want to mic guitar and bass amps, there's this microphone that is on Amazon for, its list price is $38, but I snagged 2 of them for $10 each. They are the Pyle PD Mic 78, and they are basically a direct clone of the SM57. And they're great microphones. You know, the SM57 is a fantastic microphone, and this is a great microphone for the price of $10. So if you need to mic a piano, if you need to mic a guitar or a bass amp, I would reach for a few of these, because these are great beginner's microphones because they're 3-pronged, so they'll work universally. And they sound great. I mean, from what I've used so far, they sound spectacular. So I would recommend these, and then get mic stands and cables and everything. And then the last thing you'll need is a piece of software for your computer. For Windows computers, you can get, there's not a lot of free solutions. You can use Audacity, which is a free recording program, but I'd highly argue against it because it's not geared towards music production. It's geared very much toward basic, vocal recordings, narration type stuff. So you couldn't get very far with it. Excuse me. But there are there's not a lot of free solutions. There's Reaper, which I've read is good, but it's a little funky, and it's only free for, I think, 60 or 90 days, and then you have to purchase a license. So most people will tell you that it's free, but it actually is not. It advertises being free, but it does charge you eventually. So, and then there's FL Studio, which is used mainly for beat production, but it can also be used it can be used for acoustic, production. If you're on a Mac, you can use Logic, which is what I use. It's made directly by Apple now, and it's very intuitive. If you've used GarageBand, it's like GarageBand 2.0. It's a very simple, straightforward program that has lots of, if you want to just plug your guitar straight in, it has tons and tons of clean, distorted, both guitar amps that you can use, as well as bass amps that you can use, tons of presets, tons of virtual instruments, synthesizers, string ensembles, pianos, anything you can think of, it's going to have a virtual instrument. And it's just very simple, very straightforward and to the point. So I highly recommend that. It's $200 on the App Store for the Logic Pro 10, and I highly recommend it. There's Pro Tools, which is the industry standard. That's what most professional level recording studios use now. But unfortunately, that's both Mac and PC, but it's like, I think it's over $1,000, and you need a very powerful computer to run it. So it's not great for bedroom level studios. So, and then there's one, I know it's on PC, and I think it goes on PC and Mac. Cubase is cheap. I'm not sure exactly the price. I'll leave it in the description. cheap and it works great from what I hear. So if you want basic audio production, you can pick and choose, you can view your options. There are tons of different digital audio workstations or DAWs you can use out there without fail. So view what you want to view and pick what you want to choose, and I'm sure you'll get something that works perfectly. So, in wrap up, all you need to start recording is an interface, a microphone, or you don't even need a microphone, but I highly recommend getting a microphone if you plan on doing any sort of vocals. An interface, a digital audio workstation for your computer, and maybe a microphone. So there's no reason why you can't use something cheap and affordable like this to get started recording music. So I hope this helped you, and I'll see you next week.